Good day, guys. Austin here, and in this one today, we're going to be playing Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 3DS. Except, we're going to be playing this on our PC, so let's get stuck in and I'll waffle on as we're doing this. Right, so get into game. Now, in the bottom left-hand corner, you're seeing the frames per second, and on the actual screen, you are seeing the actual game being played, emulated using the Citra Emulator. So let's set up a game, let's see how this performs, and then we'll go through what kind of settings I'm using, and of course all the details involved with this emulator build. Right, let's get in there. Love this game, absolutely love it. It's a lot better two-player though, but as of yet, today, nobody has knocked on. So you're stuck with just me, guys. Obviously Mario, let's get stuck in. And where should we go? Wily Castle. Okay then, so I'm using the Citra Emulator. I'm using the Bleeding Edge build, which is kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? We are getting good frames per second. Bottom left-hand corner is 60. I should be getting 60, and as you can see, I am getting 60. I need to find out my keys. Oh, not that one for a start. Come on. There we go. Now I'm getting into it. Okay, I am using my keyboard and mouse. Obviously, not ideal. But the Citra Bleeding Edge build as standard doesn't come with joystick support. You can mess around and get your actual joysticks working. You can also use third-party programs. Again, I'm using the Bleeding Edge. This is the official build as taken from the actual Citra website. I'll put links in the description down below along with the actual the system that I'm playing this on. I'm getting mauled here. Absolutely mauled. Come on, get me in. I am experiencing the few drops here and there, but as of yet, this is pretty damn good. Right, we're not here to actually watch me play the game. What I want to show you is my settings that I've got on right now. So obviously, I'm pumping this up from the native resolution. Otherwise, we'll be watching this in 240p. It'd be a big pixelated mess that we wouldn't be able to see. So, right, let's get into the settings. As you can see, I've got general as standard. System itself, I've only put my details in there. Input, I've left as default. It should just be the standard joystick, or should I say keyboard inputs. Graphics then, this is the only thing I've really got stuck into and changed that would alter the game different from yours. So everything is left as default and standard. I have put it onto large screen so you can get the big main screen on and the little screen on the right hand side. You can use your mouse and actually use the touchpad on there, or if you've got a touchpad enabled screen, you can also use that. Right then, internal resolution. I pumped this up. I'm running this at 960p. The native resolution it's saying here is 240p. I'm pushing this to 960p. The reason why I'm picking this is because by the time we've taken the borders into consideration, the size of the screen, all that kind of stuff, it is as close to 1080p as we're gonna get. I can't even say that. As we're gonna get, as we are going to get. Oh, I'm seeing some frame drops there as it zooms in. Look at that, it's gone down to 18 now. But by pushing this to 960, like I said, we're going as close as we can to 1080, which is what I want to use as a kind of standard when we're on larger TVs. Now, of course, I could push this a lot further, and to be honest, the actual impact on my machine wouldn't differ that much. Up until this stage, you're kind of impacting on your CPU. The main grunt, the main bit that's going to affect most of the emulation on this. When I start to pump this up a little more, then what's going to happen is we're going to impact more on my GPU. So I'll tell you what, for bells and whistles on this one, let's actually pump this up and go for, I suppose it's full on 4K 2160. I've got no idea what kind of performance we're going to be getting now. We have impacted a little bit, but hardly anything. Right, let's get in there. Let's play another game and see if this has made much difference. Obviously, visually it will. Come on, get me in. This may really impact in the speed of the game, though. Of course, my specs of my PC that I'm running is in the description down below. I'm running a 1080 on this, so visually, in terms of the GPU, I mean, there's only the TI, and if you start going into silly graphics cards, that's probably going to beat this. But, of course, again, the emulator itself, that's the bottleneck. That's where it's coming from. So, again, we'll pick Mario. Where can we go this time? Let's go for here. So, I should be getting, hopefully, the same frames per second. We should be getting around the 60. I will get drops from time to time. Again, that'll be the bottleneck with the actual emulator. But oh my god. Oh my god. What is going on here? I'm playing this game, Smash Brothers, a game which previously struggled to get even decent frames per second running normal. And now, I'm getting 60 frames per second running blatantly, quite seriously, 4K. Not no technically 4K, but literally 4K. It looks absolutely stunning. Of course, the textures, the details, all that stuff, we're still running pretty stock, but the actual resolution, in terms of the internal resolution, which is going to give us those crisp edges, get rid of all the jaggies, all that kind of stuff, that is what we are running now to this kind of level. In fact, let me show you what it would be compared to running normal standards. So, right, configure. Right, I'm going to go to graphics, and I'm going to put this to native resolution to show you the difference of what this would be like rendering this at 240p, what the actual 3DS would be running it as. So, as you can see, it's a blurred, blocky mess. It's not ideal. It's not good at all. It's a long shot away from there. Now, of course, all this kind of stuff is relative to the size of the screen that you're running it on. And obviously, if you've got 4K, then you can take full advantage of that. You're probably not seeing all the benefits here because, well, let's face it, we're running it on YouTube. They'll use compression and all that kind of stuff. So you're not going to be getting the true 4K what you're going to be seeing. And again, unless you got a large TV, what's the point anyway? Because the textures and all that stuff ain't there. Of course, you will get a heightened experience, a lot better than what you're going to be getting, especially at 240p. But it just proves to you the kind of, well, how this is emulating right now. This is absolutely gorgeous. Right, first off, let's get rid of this mess that I'm seeing in terms of the graphics. We'll put it back on to something standard, which I would game at quite happily, 960p, which in essence is probably about 1080p by the time you've factored in the borders and everything around the screen. So let's give it one more try. Up until now, I would say this is pretty playable. What I want to do now is, let's get out of there. Let's see if we can push this further. We'll see if we can get other players involved. Okay, we get that. Nice one. So can I? Yes, I can. Let's get 4 people on this. Okay, so let's get some dudes in. And we'll take this onto a map, which we've just done. Let's go back to Wily Castle. So then we know what the kind of baseline is and what we should be expecting of this in terms of performance. And it seems that the introduction of more characters isn't impacting on the gameplay at all. This is awesome. Awesome progress. Citra team, you have far surpassed yourself. Of course, like I said, we are running this on the bleeding edge, which is kind of like the alpha build, or should I say the beta build. It's pretty new. It's just been built. It's constantly being built. Every time you load it up, it will download the most recent version of that. You may need to get some fixes involved. I've got my user and home folder dumped and added to the emulator, which allows me to play some of the games which need that kind of feature. I'll put links in the description down below which will aid you in all that kind of stuff. But for this, in terms of performance, this is beautiful, isn't it, guys? Absolutely beautiful. I'm well impressed. Well impressed. Far surpassing what I was going to be expecting when I loaded this up. Yes, I would say I would get grumbles and arguments if I was going to play this properly with my mates. But in terms of the actual game, if you're going to play this for yourself, I would say it's pretty playable. It's not 100%, far from it, but it's pretty damn good. So that's about it, to be honest, guys. This is far exceeding my expectations. Hats off to the Citra team. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of, I don't know, performance you guys are getting, especially on this game, so we can compare it to. Make sure you add your systems as well, so we can kind of get a baseline of where we want to be looking in terms of performance. But for this is absolutely mind-boggling. So, as always, guys, it's been a pleasure bringing this here. Please like, please subscribe, please do all the things in this world, especially by giving big thumbs up to the Citra team, because this is amazing. But most of all, you have a good day. Laters!